Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thought I'd just come to you today with a little bit of a surprise stream. Like I say, it's a nice enough morning to, be able to do so. So I thought, why not, as they say. Down we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. But yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thomas, hello to you, good morning. Welcome to a little Sunday stroll. Like I say, I'm just doing this very impromptu. Whoops, there we go. But yes, I just fancy to stroll out in the morning, and I thought, well, why not stream while I'm out this morning? Oh. Phil Cross, morning. What a breezy morning, isn't it? Yesterday it's quite breezy this morning. Hopefully that doesn't get too much issue. Mail and Boo, good morning. Samuel, good morning. What a treat. Me, Dr. Bean, being on one of these streams. Good morning, Crowban. Hi again. Yes, good morning, one and all. Like I say, it's unplanned, as they say. I just happened to be, I thought I'll go on a walk this morning. I just thought, you know what, I'll just do a stream. Why not? Why not, as they say. But yeah, I think I want to continue sort of where we left off yesterday. Because one of the things I keep on trying to get across to you guys. Having a dog run after us. Don't know if you can see him in the background there. But one of the things I keep on trying to get across is the idea of how Boris goes. Because it's not just getting those letters to the 1922 committee. Chthonic, hello there, hello to you. Or as Jeff Taylor would say, hello there. God, we haven't dipped in on Jeff for a while now. God, that's something I'm going to have to do, I think, next Wednesday. Morning. Oh, thank you very much about the video. Yeah, like I say, Ben, one of the big things that we're going to be seeing a lot of, and I've tried to raise this issue before, you're going to see a lot of EU rules get tackled very, very quickly in an attempt to try and get them to just be removed almost completely. So the issue comes now is we really have to be on the ball and be aware when moves like that are made. You may remember, I think it was about a year ago now, when Kersey Kutang? Might not have been, but whoever was the business secretary at that moment tried to get rid of the working time directive, which basically means you can only work a certain set amount of hours. And he's very sneakily tried to get rid of it. But luckily, because there was such an overwhelming reaction, there was such a furore against it, they turned back around. Like I say, hopefully the wind's not too much of an issue today. But yeah, it caused such a furore that no one, they pulled a massive, very quick U-turn and said, oh no, we're not doing anything with it. Don't be silly. Just, sliding the bill they had written to go to try and push through Parliament into the sidelines, because they knew the reaction it might have if it were actually to be brought forward. So we've got to be really on our toes when regulations like that come forward. And it's, as I've always said, when something like this happens, write to your MP. It's really, really important. And I keep on trying to, bang and drive that message home, as quickly and as often as I can. Because that's the key point. If you don't, if you're not writing to your MP, they don't know about it, they don't know about your response. And if you can organise, a local letter writing campaign, all the better for it. That's how, you do this type of stuff. Even if, your MP's like a conservative or whatever, always write to them. I'm a massive advocate of that. Housefriend, morning. There we go. Have you seen the article in the Mail today about Angela Rayner and Basic Instinct is quite mad? What? No, haven't seen that. I think a lot of people are going to get a very rude awakening regarding that subject. Yeah, we are very, very well quickly going to find out those those EU regulatory rules very quickly. Don't worry on that. Handwritten counts for way more than email. 50-50, to be honest. I know a lot of people don't really want to do a handwritten letter, which is fine. But that's what you got to do sometimes. An email can be just as easy, or even easier, than having to write a letter. And pay attention to things like, 38 degrees, and the big petition sites, because very often they do, as part of their campaign, have letter responses. So when you sign that email, it automatically generates a letter that goes to your, an email that goes to your MP. And very often people find it a couple of days later they get a response from their MP. But yeah, to pay attention to those websites, especially, when it comes to regulations and things like that, always very, very well, worth paying attention to. My MP's pretty, can't really see the point. Well, that's even more important, right? I sympathise with you if you're, Phil. If your MP is, Priti Patel, then there's even a more case you should write to her, because she can't fully ignore you. You can basically say, Miss Patel, I've written to you X amount of times about all these different subjects and you've never responded. Why haven't you responded to it? And that can actually cause quite a big furore at next time she's standing for election in your area. Do write to them. Like I say, even if it's Priti Patel, write to her, say, your Rwanda plans, completely ludicrous. What are you doing about it? Don't be scared to write or put off, writing to your MP, because again, it's a conservative, or even, as you've just said, Priti Patel. Don't be put off by that. That's the big key thing. Don't be put off. Always do it, because writing does have an effect. And if you can, think of people in your area who you can galvanize as well and get them writing a letter as well. That's the important thing. It's writing a good letter and having a number of them about the same topic. So don't be afraid to not do that. Thomas Bell, I think now Partygate is exposed. Boris needs to go, or we have an early general election. There is no way Boris or even the Conservatives would even dare contemplate having a local election. If you have a look at the opinion polls about how that works out into sort of a local election, well, not local election, a general election arithmetic, there's suddenly a whole lot of people losing their seat. A whole lot of people, especially big Conservatives. I think Priti Patel loses her seat. I think like Jacob Rees-Mogg potentially loses his seat. There's a lot of big Conservatives. If you look at the popularity at the moment, a lot of them suddenly start losing their seats. Ben, it relates to crossing and uncrossing legs in Parliament, which is the Tory party circulating anything to try and disparage the Labour Party. Yeah, because they're actually quite scared of Angela Rayner. I know that's kind of a strange thing to say, but Angela Rayner is going to be a big feature at the next general election because she is very, very good at holding the Conservatives to account. She has been doing some fantastic work doing that. The only unfortunate thing is that it hasn't really been highlighted, but the fact that again they are attacking her in such a manner, it's it's why they attacked Diane Abbott all that time. Diane Abbott made a couple of mistakes, a couple of fluffs, but in the grand scheme of things, you can see that kind of fluff all the time happening. Look at Nadine Dorris. What is it? Downstreaming comment. Our fantastic culture secretary there. But yeah, that's the that's the big key takeaway. They will attack anyone they think they can possibly try and get away with attacking. And like I say, Angela Rayner, really, really good at what she's been doing. I think it's something Labour really, really need to bring up. I think a lot more during these campaigns, because it would certainly help them out a lot, especially during the next general election. I've heard that Rayner likes personalised stationery. Well, all MPs have personalised stationery. Have you never received a letter from your MP? They've all got personalised stationery. It comes with the job. Catho G, good morning. Oh, go on then. I'll send an email in hopeless optimism. It's not hopeless, my friend. You should be doing it. This is what I keep on saying to people. Don't be disparaged. This was what I find so bizarre. When I did my video about Phil, stop being such a doomer. My message always is on this channel. You can get so much more done. You can get people so much more energized than you can with, doomerism. Hope is the way to go forward. People always ask me why you always, very hopeful, or so energized about certain topics, because it's all the hopium I'm on, you know. And don't get me wrong, you know, I can see just how bad things are, you know, in the country. I can see that, you know, I'm not blind. But the thing is, that's just an opportunity of how much better things could be and what we could do if we took it and just said things can be better and they should be better, because we know they can be. We know we've got the policies, we've got the ideas to be able to carry that stuff forward. You know, don't fall to doomerism. Yes, things might be bad at the moment, but you get more stuff done with some hopium in your body than you do with, you know, doomerism. And, you know, that was essentially really my message to Phil, condensed into probably, you know, 10 minutes rather than an hour-long video where it took me to say it. Yes, it is a bonus walk, Lonic. What is it? Well, hang on. I'm just trying to read your comment, but this is the problem when you go out for a good morning walk and the sun. You can't see the screen. There we go. Sun's going back in now. There we go. What say, quote, a brand new centre in Barnsley, plus new houses for migrants? Honest reply, please. Well, have you ever been to the centre of Barnsley at the moment? The Barnsley Town Centre regeneration project, making things like the market kitchen, the whole new town centre, is fantastic. I've never seen Barnsley look as good as it has been before. And some of those shops and some of those new areas that they've brought in, fantastic, because they're going to roll that out to the different separate towns. You know, that's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to see what they do, you know, in other places. And for migrants, you know, housing, why not? You know, we've got a housing shortage anyway. Just build more houses. It's not really that hard. And, you know, we need migrants. Migrants are good economically. You know, I don't know what you expect me to say, but, you know, migrants are good for the economy. Oh, good morning, Mitch. Good morning to all again. Morning. Yeah, you'd rather not look at the culture secretary. Very true. Very true. A good morning walk too. Twice the ponies, twice the fun. Well, we actually haven't seen them this morning yet, so although I don't know if we've passed them. Can't see them this morning. Joe, hey, good morning from Dublin. We'll be doing exactly what you're doing today. I'm taking the dog for a walk, and no news. Oh, well, like I say, get out, you know. It's good weather, get yourself out for a walk. You know, I had an espresso before I went out this morning. So, you know, I'm pumped full of, you know, espresso energy, rocket fuel. What's this? Oliver Dowden. Oh, there we go. We're back. So Oliver Dowden, he say, Well, yeah. Yep. Oliver Dowden has responded to the article on Sky News. Think it's going to go down badly. Oh yeah, very badly. You know what? What do they get out of it? Oh no, a woman crossed her legs in Parliament. you know, doesn't it doesn't make any sense. I bet you could find tons of footage of other conservative women crossing their legs. It's such a stupid attack line, but they're desperate to try and find something on Rayner to attack her on, because again, she has been doing some fantastic work. Not only before Partygate, but really holding the Conservatives, feet to the fire. She's a fantastic asset to the Labour Party. So yeah, wouldn't surprise me if that article goes down in flames. Oh yeah. Ben Ridings. I'm tempted to contact Nadine Dorris and query what type of Google into Google will break the tell her that typing Google into Google will break the internet. Well, that's one of the the bizarre things, in that video, that TikTok video she did, saying that the UK can have, a safe and secure internet. The internet doesn't really have national boundaries. You can't really affect, the internet in that way. And, I like the internet as it is. It's a very free, an open platform. Oh, hang on. Don't know if you can see him there. Can you see him? There he is. No. Can't you see him? No, Heron. If you could get to see him. I've been trying ever since lockdown, when I've started, discovered this walk. I have been trying to get a picture of that goddamn heron. He is an absolute ninja-like bird. But we'll get a picture of him one day. Good to see you all up and about early this morning. Be up and about out in the wilderness, having a bit of a walk, having a bit of talk. It's what we like. But yeah, Nadine Dorris's video, I'm going to get back to that because I was distracted by the heron. The very first thing she said about, that type of nationality and sort of the UK can have its own sectioned off safe internet. Not really how the internet works, Nadine. But we have been hearing about how she is horribly underbriefed. And, a couple of weeks ago, the Conservatives really tried to defend her being, underbriefed and not know what she's talking about by saying that, oh, it's all right, that Nadine passes questions to her juniors. She's just trying to, highlight them. It's not really good when Nadine Dorris sits on a select committee, is asked a question about something she's meant to be passionately believing and, meant to be taking the lead on, and then delegates it to a junior because she hasn't read her briefing notes, rightly, or at least can't remember them. Oh, hang on. I think we've got... I don't know if you can see. Hang on, let me flip the camera. Flip. There he is. I don't know if you can see him. Little pony behind there. Little pony. He was there, but he's having breakfast. Oh well, never mind. Never mind. Oh, I think good. Oh, ducks. Oh, what's this? Iana McPherson, hello from the US. You're absolutely right. I feel as you do. With all the crap that we're going through in our with our Conservative Party, we need to cling to hope. Yeah, exactly. That's the message I always love to, take away. Even if, I'm trying to do a video with or talking about stuff that's, like in the situation with like Ukraine or, the cost of living crisis or, all this type of stuff. If you give in to like the doomerism, it's a massive demotivational factor. And the thing is, with a potential general election, maybe a year or 2 years away, you need to be motivated. The left needs to motivate itself. It needs to stop, being such doomers and, be able to lift itself up, get energized and start, thinking of ways we can get rid of the Tories. I keep on saying to people, and I keep on talking about it, Labour's got all these fantastic policies that we've talked about from time to time. Every single leftist agrees with them and says, yeah, that's a good idea. And then you say, oh, but it's a Labour Party policy. And then they go, can't vote for it. Why not? Why not? You've just said you liked that policy. Oh, well, it's, Keir Starmer. So what? Like, what? What? Yeah, trust me, that I know you've got your problems in America, and we've got our problems over here. But we've got like local elections coming up at the moment, and I know like you have, in the left have a serious problem with not fighting or not caring enough about, what goes on locally. And yet they should. They really should, because if, you get more Democrats, or with us, we get more Labour people in, building on those ideas of, community wealth building, we can really make some big changes to our towns and how they, operate. And that's why, again, I always encourage people to even have a look at or get the book, Paint Your Town Red. It's fantastic. It's the story of Preston, what they did, how they did it, and how you can do it as well. Not even, just running for your local council, but how you can, encourage your council to do these types of things that, where Preston is bucking the national trend, lowest unemployment, biggest, community wealth, new businesses, all types of this stuff. And this is all Labour policy stuff. And yet, can't vote for Labour. Why? Keir Starmer. Yeah. And like I say, I keep on telling people, I don't like first past the post. I want to change it. But if you want to change it, then currently you've got to fight in the system that we've got, and that's first past the post. Don't say, well, I'm not going to vote until we get a, proportional representative system. You should be out voting every opportunity you goddamn get. And especially at local elections. Local elections, I keep on telling people this. Local elections have such a small turnout. 30%. In some other places, it's far lower than that. If you literally got 100 people, 50 people motivated, you could get a Labour councillor in, or a Lib Dem councillor in. You could really boot the Tories out. I've constantly talked about the fact that there is no campaign or national campaign to sort of do that, and it's a big disappointment. But anyway, that's that's me. But yes, and it could happen, and it should happen, but there's no organisation about it, and it just so annoys me. But yes, anyway, on with the Hopia. I could start on that all day. Phil. No more migrants. Why is health and social care getting so expensive? The rubbish in this country. The eternal conundrum of nationalists. Very true. Very true. We have a depopulation crisis, and the only way we can solve that is migrants. But also, they should be funding those types of things, but they're not, because again, we've had austerity for the last couple of years. So, go figure on that as well. Yesterday was, wait for it, April Fool's Day. Very good, Comic. Hello from Latvia. Hello to you. I was in Riga a couple of years ago. Very, very nice city. I definitely want to go back again, because I found a pub that did cranberry flavored beer, and oh my god, it was amazing. And I've never ever been able to find it over here. And I'm like, why does this not exist over here? It's amazing. Yeah, she's downstreaming tennis pictures as we speak. You can tell how far behind I am in the comments when people are talking about herons. Video quality is not too great. Well, we are in the countryside, unfortunately. You've got many herons where you are, Sonic? Like I said, they are beautiful birds. Beautiful birds. Boris Johnson's strong stance on Ukraine completely changed my mind about him. Now I support him. I'm from Latvia. Well, here's the thing, I also agree with Boris's stance on Ukraine. I think he's done a really good job on it. I think he can even go much further. But again, we'll see. But as I once said to someone, a broken clock can be right twice a day, but that's still not going to stop me from throwing it out. If the only thing that Boris actually gets right is obviously like the UK's response to Ukraine, well then congratulations, at least you got that right. But he's absolutely destroyed the COVID response. We're still having my local hospital's having a mass COVID outbreak. You can't go and visit because of it. Cost of living crisis, the energy crisis, the response to the economic come out of the pandemic. Where's the response to that? You look at other countries doing far more in investing in in communities and all that type of stuff, and yet the Conservatives have done nothing about it. Like I say, a broken clock can be right twice a day. Still not going to stop me throwing it out. Nice, take all of Putin's money. Yeah, Johnson is right in supporting Ukraine, but he can be pretty awful at home. Very true, Pretty Bird. Yeah, Boris doesn't support Ukrainian refugees. Very, very true. Very, very true. Clear policies with clear, honest answers, i.e., migrants. Answer: Barnsley has developed its town centre, and I'm for building houses. Well, thing is, migrants really don't matter. Migration really isn't an issue. It's just that the right likes to make it an issue because they can essentially give someone else to blame. It's the classic othering of other people. Your bad situation isn't because of we've been not giving your town enough money to like invest in jobs and all this type of stuff that we could have been doing. No, just blame the migrants, and they'll be the scapegoat for all the Conservative Party failings. Hi Jay, we're spoiled with a nice happy walk. RG, Yorkshireman in California. Democrats only vote when it's a presidential election. Very infuriating. Very true. I know that feeling. The left here doesn't really pay too much of attention, and there's a really large feeling that local politics doesn't matter when it really, really does. You can bring so much change to your town by getting in councillors with good policies, like in Paint Your Town Red. We talked about, the idea of community wealth building and, using the council's purchasing power to really, buy in and help to build the local, economy. And that's what we are seeing for many Labour councillors. They are following that pattern. I always talk about my MP, Dan Jarvis. And, Dan Jarvis is seen very much as a Labour. He was meant to be one of the people being groomed for the succession. After Tony Blair, but the stuff that he's done as mayor of South Yorkshire has been absolutely fantastic. He's really invested into community wealth building. He's laid the groundwork to bring buses back into public ownership. He's created an office in the South Yorkshire City mayoral region to help people create their own social not social businesses, what they call now public ownership businesses. I can't remember the name now, but yeah, that type of stuff. He set that up. Labour's doing a lot of stuff that people just do not give them enough attention or even enough credit to, which is really, really disappointing, but that's the case. Would help if they promised us policies, though, at least roughly in line with our values there. Go and look at what Angela Rayner has been saying. Honestly, go and have a look at Angela Rayner's green economic recovery plan. That's fantastic. Chronic K. I know why it was just some videos on French's election. BMH video popped up. Yeah. In France, the left are very, very far more galvanized, and at least the people in France are a lot more politically active. I wish the population in the UK was even as half as much as politically active as the French were. We'd have been solving a lot more problems if that was the case. But then again, this is what we talk about, getting politically active, getting people to realise, how important local elections are, getting people to go, write to your MP, stuff like that. It's just so important, but people don't do it because they get on the doomerism and then they just don't do it. The only way I can see FTP going is a series of weak coalition governments. Otherwise, where is the motivation? You should be motivated about it. We want to change the system. And the only way you can change the system is if you're willing to play the current game. You may not like playing the current game, But as I said, you don't go play Monopoly with the rules of Cluedo. you know, that's not how Monopoly works. It works by Monopoly rules. So you've got to play the Monopoly game. And you've got to convince your other fellow players that it's time to change. And everyone in the UK recognizes that fact. The Labour for PR movement has had a massive success in getting local Labour parties to vote for PR. It will happen, I think, at the next, it should absolutely be on that promise to, reform our politics, change the voting system, really reform it. And that could be a massive, massive win for Labour, definitely. It's appalling the way Johnson is using Ukraine to prop up his premiership. If he actually cared, he would make it easier for refugees to get to the UK. Very true. RG, yeah, Republicans vote for everything, even school boards. RG's most of the state legislature. Very true. That's because, again, people don't really recognise the importance of local elections, and American Democrats or lefty people in America need to recognise that while voting for people in like the Senate or Congress or even the presidential election is important, you need to pay attention to what's going on in your town, with the governorship, school boards in particular. Because could you imagine if Republicans took over like local school boards and how crazy they are at the moment, and like the kind of stuff they could put into schools if they control your school board? The left in America should be galvanizing over that, but it's not. We're just waiting for Max's live stream, half PM till watch that appears. Oh yeah, very true. I don't know what time it is actually. I can't see on my I can't see on my phone what time it is. Oregon has had a really good turnout. We are now 100% voted by mail. Excellent. Isn't Bojo in India offering more visas in exchange for a trade deal? Very is. Yes, he is. Will France get results tonight? I think so. I think we'll know certainly by tomorrow morning. Hola, happy Sunday H from Paz News. Good morning, BHM. A lovely and peaceful Sunday. Yes, it is. Very nice indeed. Reminds me the UK is going to send Ukrainians to Rwanda. Or are they going to be especially racist and just send black people? Again, yeah, the whole Rwanda thing is just... Don't even get me started on it. It's just so ridiculous, the plan. I mean, you look at, what is it? Is it Israel and Australia that have done it? And like those two policies were such a disaster. I think they ended them, or I think they're still engaged to them to some extent. But even then, it's not been, should we say, exactly very good for them. Macron should probably win about 55% of the vote. Excellent. Hope he does. COVID and the Russian invasion proved to be Johnson's saving grace. Very true. Hope Macron wins as well. Very true. Hope he does as well. Yep, very true. Draconic Dritz. Johnson's stance on Ukraine is right, but as ever, his words aren't backed by reality. Very true. BHM, refugee problem. Let them buy tickets to get here. Process the application. End of problem. That's to be honest what the Conservatives would love to do, but that's not what we should be doing. If people need help and they're refugees, the easiest thing, if this is the dumb thing. If Priti Patel really wanted to solve like the problem of people crossing the channel in like small boats, then she'd set up safe routes, and she can do that. She can do that as like the Home Secretary, but she won't do it because it's completely against their ideology to do it. Bakura, Tories blaming migrants for the problems they create just shows just shows lying isn't just a Boris Johnson problem, it's a Tory problem. Very true. Get cooperative. You can see how far I am on the comments. I will vote Lib Dems because of the Brexit policy. That's fine. The French might be a tad too active. Also vote Lib Dem, best to oust the Tory MP and anti-Brexit. All politics are local, just look at not in my backyard. Very true. 9:30, that was, I don't know how long that was ago. My voters pamphlet came through today for May in my local election. Excellent, very good, Pretty Bird. It's a BM reading a different live chat to us. No, I'm just very, very behind on it. Oh my god, have I caught up? Hang on. Yes, I have been caught up. There we go. Finally, I've caught up to you. That was 3 minutes ago. It's now 9:33. You caught it now, yeah? But yeah, that's the large part of the problem. The fact that we've had to deal for the last 12 years with Tory policy, austerity, that is what's really Britain. And that's the thing that Labour needs to get across at the next general election. It wasn't migrants or Labour Party policy that broke Britain. It was austerity that broke Britain. And who was the party pushing for austerity? It was the Conservatives. So that's what they really need to get across for the next general election. Oh. This is the problem when you enter a. There's a problem when you're in a wide open field. You're going to contest with the wind sometimes. Like I say, it's a bit of a potluck sometimes. How how the wind affects everything. But I can't control the weather, unfortunately. I've just got to hope that the wind's calm. It's a bit blowing at the moment, not at least as bad as it was earlier. But there you go. In a wind tunnel. Like I say, it doesn't seem to be, especially strong, but yeah, it's always the problem. And I did buy a microphone to try and deal with this problem. The problem is that the microphone, when I got my new phone, it didn't work, which was really annoying. I never couldn't understand why it wasn't working, because it should just be you plug it in and go. But unfortunately, it didn't do that. So again, frustrating. But oh well, never mind. We'll find a solution. I'm sure we will. Oh yeah, that was another interesting point. Apparently, Priti Patel is being put forward to be the new Conservative Party chairwoman. Okay. Okay. That's interesting, almost certainly. I can't see the reasoning for why they would do that, but okay, if that's what they want to do, then, by all means do that. But, be on their head be it. Chthonic. Austerity was another big case for Tory exceptionalism. One set of rules for them, another set for everyone else. I mean, we saw that in Grenfell. I mean, that's another thing that sort of shocks me if you've ever kept up with like what's been going on in the Grenfell inquiry. You know, the Tories should be absolutely, you know, being crucified on this on a constant basis, and very rarely does it ever come up in the national news media. Probably because of, again, all the stuff going on with Boris. But whenever it does appear in the national newspapers, stuff you see in the Grenfell inquiry is never, ever, ever good. It doesn't paint the Tories in a good light either. I need the baton from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, very true. That's my favourite Zelda game. I love Wind Waker. In fact, I've still got my GameCube somewhere. Yep. Yep, austerity was a choice, very true. That's the thing we've got to try and get across. Oh, hang on, train's coming. Oh, yeah. Easy. She got promoted out of the way so that Gove can become PM. Possibly. Like I say, I think if there is to be a vote of no confidence, as we said before in our video about it just this week, there's roughly about, depending on how you look at voting strengths as to who's coming out in support, who's come out and said he must go, who's sort of in between on that, roughly there's about 83 Conservative MPs who haven't declared either way. But as we said, as the downside about, you know, a secret ballot, meaning you wouldn't know which way people would vote, there's also a chance that people who are, you know, pro-Boris, when it came to a secret ballot, might vote to get rid of him as well. You know, that's the risks, of course, of a secret ballot. And of course, when you play the numbers as we did last week, well, there's just yesterday, indeed, the numbers make for very interesting reading. Yeah. So yes, yeah, I very impromptu decided to come out and do a Sunday good morning walk. So I'm gonna go home. Well, pop back home, get my breakfast, and probably watch Max's stream. Like I say, go over there and tell him, you know, I sent you. Like I say, I think he should be starting soonish. I think. I'm guessing it's going to be 9:40 something, maybe, maybe. But yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching. Like I say, please do remember to hit that like, share and subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can always, well, buy me coffee. And of course, the YouTube subscriptions, memberships, whatever they are, I can't forget what they're called, are up and down below as well. And so, as always, we'll see you next Saturday, hopefully for a good morning walk. Like I say, this was a bit of a impromptu Sunday stroll on my part, so this won't become a regular thing. I just decided to just, you know, pop up and do it this morning. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the show this morning. Take you on a little stroll around the fields. You know, unfortunately the ponies weren't out today, but never mind. We had some good pony action yesterday. So yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching. Like I say, enjoy what's left of your weekend, and yes, we'll see you all next time.